Hello, everyone. Welcome to Easy English Stories, the podcast where we help you learn English while exploring interesting topics. Today, we're diving into the world of video games. Do you play video games, or do you know someone who does? Let us know your thoughts after the episode.
Hi, I'm excited to join you. We'll be reading a story about video games, explaining vocabulary, and talking about some common ideas people have about gamers. So, let's get started and learn together.
Video games have come a long way since they first emerged as a niche pastime in the 1970s. Now, let's explain that word, emerged.
Emerged means to become known or to appear. For example, new artists often emerge on social media when people start noticing their work.
Exactly. So, video games became known in the 1970s, and since then, they've changed a lot. The story mentions that the global video game market in 2020 was worth approximately $150 to $160 billion. Do you know what approximately means?
Approximately means almost, but not exactly. If you say there are approximately 100 people in a room, it could be 98 or 102. It's a close guess, not an exact number.
The story says that much of the growth in video games comes from new software and affordable mobile devices. It's incredible how technology makes gaming easier for everyone.
That's right. According to the Entertainment Software Association, 3 out of every 4 U.S. households include someone who plays video games. Gaming has truly become a part of many people's daily lives.
But even though it's popular, there are many negative stereotypes about gamers. This brings us to our next topic. How are gamers viewed in society? Gamers are often portrayed negatively in the media, like in shows such as The Big Bang Theory. The story says these characters are noticeably lacking in social skills. Let's talk about the word lacking.
Lacking means not having enough of something important. For example, if you are lacking sleep, you didn't sleep enough. In the story, the characters lack social skills. They are not good at talking to people.
That's a helpful explanation. The stereotype is that gamers don't have energy or motivation to do anything constructive. Can you explain constructive?
Sure. Constructive means something that helps build or improve. For example, if someone gives you constructive feedback, it helps you get better.
Many people believe gamers are unhealthy and unlikely to be productive. But, as with any group, some fit the stereotypes, but many do not. The story mentions that video game players are more diverse than people think.
Exactly. In 2018, the ESA found that most gamers were adults, not children, and 46% were women. That's a big difference from the stereotype.
The story also says U.S. unemployment among young adults declined. It adds that 56% of gamers regularly participate in creative activities. That sounds pretty constructive to me.
Yes, and when it comes to health, only 1% of adult gamers' health problems could be directly linked to gaming, which is not significant. Let's explain significant.
Significant means something big enough to be noticed or to make a difference. For example, if you see a significant change in your English skills, it means your improvement is easy to see. So, the studies show there's no significant link between gaming and poor health for most kids and teenagers. That's very interesting.
It is. Sometimes people believe things without looking at the data. But real research helps us see the truth, not just the stereotype.
Let's move on to the most serious accusation against gamers. Do video games contribute to violence? Can you explain contribute?
Sure. Contribute means to help make something happen. For example, if you contribute ideas to a group project, you are helping the project succeed.
Some people say games contribute to violence. Violence is a key word. Here, can you explain it?
Violence means using physical force to hurt someone or damage things. For example, a fight in the street is an act of violence.
The story mentions high-profile shootings that have been linked to violent games. Let's stop and explain shooting.
Shooting is when someone is shot with a gun. For example, a news report might say, "There was a shooting at the mall yesterday."
Now, the American Psychological Association found that violent video games increased aggression. Let's define aggression.
Aggression means angry or threatening behavior. For example, if a dog growls and snaps, that's aggression. But aggression is not always violence.
The story points out that even though aggression might increase, crime statistics show that violent crime among the young has actually decreased since the 1990s.
That's right. And in countries where violent video games are popular, violent crime is often lower than in the US. This suggests that playing games doesn't automatically lead to real-world violence.
It's important to look at the numbers and studies before believing everything we hear. Let's switch to the positive side. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many people played games to relieve boredom. Animal Crossing, New Horizons became a popular topic.
Yes, Rishi Chadha from Twitter noticed that conversations about the game grew by over 0% after the game launched. That's a huge increase.
Over 38 million tweets about the game. This shows how games can bring people together, especially during hard times. It's easy to find examples that fit old stereotypes, but contemporary research shows gamers are more complex and diverse. Let's explain contemporary.
Contemporary means happening now or in recent times. For example, a contemporary artist creates art today, not in the past.
So, maybe it's time to reevaluate our image of gamers and see them as they really are today. Now, let's review the new vocabulary words from our story. Ready?
Emerge means to become known or appear. For example, new music styles often emerge every year.
Approximately means almost, but not exactly. For example, there are approximately 30 students in my class.
Lacking means not having enough of something needed. For example, he is lacking confidence in his new job.
Constructive means helping to improve something. For example, she gave me constructive advice on my essay.
Significant is something big enough to notice. For example, there was a significant drop in temperature today.
Contribute means to help cause something. For example, I contribute ideas to our club meetings.
Violence is the use of physical force to hurt. For example, the movie had too much violence.
Shooting is when someone is shot with a gun. For example, the police investigated the shooting.
Aggression means angry or threatening behavior. For example, the dog showed aggression by barking loudly.
Contemporary means happening now. For example, she listens to contemporary music on the radio. Great job, everyone. Remember, learning a language takes time and practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Exactly. Try to use these new words in your conversations this week. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. We believe in you.